Hi guys. So this is the first time I am using Zoom as a recording device. My usual go-to app isn't working, so hopefully this comes out okay. Today we are going to be starting our culture project, and this culture project is going to be a project. It's going to be for a test grade, and it's going to last for the entire week. It is going to be due on Friday. However, there is going to be like a checkpoint on Wednesday that will be for a formative grade, okay? So when you go into Schoology, you are going to go to the assignments, you are going to open it up, and it is going to bring you to this. This slide is going to end up being your title slide. So I do expect you to kind of rearrange it and make it look nice and add the information that's required. One of the pieces that is going to be required for the title slide is going to be, you still need to keep the instructions so that you can always refer back to it, okay? So let's go ahead and open up the instructions and break this down. So the purpose to this project is that you're now going to look at two different regions and you are going to compare them. Some discussions that we should have is going to be, do you have any cultural similarities that are occurring? Is there a cultural difference that is separating these two different cultures? Because even though they are going to be located next to each other, you know, why are they going to be so distinct? Why are they going to be different from each other? So in order to have that conversation, we kind of have to limit your choices of which regions you can kind of discuss. It's not like if you are choosing North Africa, that culture is just extremely different from, let's say, Australia. And so in order to have a conversation that you know we could be able to look at similarities and differences with a little bit more relativity, we are going to go ahead and limit what you are doing. So right here are the 5 different choices that you have that you could choose from. So you could choose any of these, but the combination needs to be exactly the same as what you see here. And this is going to be, you can look at these regions, you see that they are kind of similar. Australia and Western Europe, even though they are not next to each other, their cultures are very similar. And so you are able to have that discussion of, you know, what distinctive features do we see in both of them, okay? Here are some expectations. So you must research the information and neatly organize it on the slides. Each slide must have an image and picture that relates to the information. If you do not have an image for that slide, then you are going to deduct 2 points. And if that picture doesn't match or correlate or correspond with the information being presented, then you will also have points deducted, okay? It's just not going to so if you have a picture and it doesn't distinctly relate to what's going on, then you're just not going to earn credit for it. You must follow the template of the rubric. It must be in an appropriate order as I am grading them. I don't want to think, okay, slide 2 is location, but maybe you accidentally flipped and dragged it around. You're going to have points taken off, okay? For the sake of, I need to be able to grade quickly and easily, and I would hate for you to lose points because I thought we're on location, but really you're answering another category, okay? You must complete 5 slides, not including the title slide, by Wednesday. So this is going to be very important that you are working out of this particular PowerPoint. I know sometimes when you try to click on it, it says, you know, request access, or it says something like you don't have the power to open this. When that happens, I need you to just, you know, close the browsers and close everything out and then try it again. I know it's super frustrating. It happens to me a lot, and I am the owner of the Google Slides, so like there's no reason why it should be telling me that I need to request access. It's just a fluke. It's just how technology is. And usually it really, if you just click out of everything and then open it back up, usually it tends to work. And there's been a few times that a student has to have me look over their shoulder for it to work, but you know, technology is what it is. Let's continue. Because it is due on Wednesday, you are not submitting anything on Wednesday. On Wednesday, I am going to go into Schoology and I'm going to open up your stuff. And if you have 5 completed, then you get an easy 100 for a formative, okay? This is more of a checkpoint. This is making sure that you have been working on it. I would hate for us to kind of have, I think everything's going well, but in reality, you haven't even opened it all week long, and now Friday's here and you're scrambling to submit it. So that's what that checkpoint is. You are not submitting anything for it. If you submit it, then it's going to be graded as a test grade and it's going to probably be incomplete, and then that might hurt you. So just don't submit it until you are ready to submit it. After the slideshow is completed, you are going to make a presentation, and you will either use Screencastify or another recording app, and you are going to present your Google slide. It would be like if this was a regular school day, you would have your PowerPoint, you would project it, and then you would come up to the front of the class and walk us through it. Those videos cannot be more than 4 minutes long, and it needs to cover everything, all of your information. So making that video is going to be the absolute last thing you could possibly do. Once you make that video, you are going to put the video on the title slide. And then that's how I am going to grade it. As I'm sitting here at my desk, I'm going to push play, and then you are going to explain it to me. Your face must be visible for it to count. And then I could click through your PowerPoint if I need, if I didn't quite hear you or if you went over something a little too fast. So the video and the Google Slides will be submitted all in the same PowerPoint, okay? I am not going to talk more about the video until Wednesday, because again, that is the absolute last thing that you are able to do, because all of your research needs to be completed before then. It says presentation options. You should just complete that Google slide appropriately, have that video on the first one, and that's how you will be presenting, okay? Each category below must have separate slides for the 2 different regions. So let's look at the layout. On your first slide, it's going to be the title. You must have identify the regions, and all what I mean by identifying the regions is which one did you choose, okay? Which of these choices did you do? And then you are going to give me your name, your class period. If you are virtual, then you need to be writing virtual on it. And then you are going to insert the presentation video, okay? But you cannot do that until right before you hit submit, because that is the last thing you do. Slides 2 and 3 are going to be over the location. Slide 2 is going to be over region 1. Slide 3 is location over region 2. The same thing with region. Slide 4 is over region 1. Slide 5 is over region 2. Then you have region, you have another section of region, what separates the 2 regions. Slide 7 through 8, we're talking about the place, describe the place of the region. That's going to be, all of the points that they are allotted are going to be right here. Human environment interaction, use of water and changes to land. So we've talked plenty about how humans are going to be interacting with their environment. What changes are they making? Are they making modifications, or are they making adaptations? And what does that look like? Slides 11 through 12 is your movement, explains movement in the region. So tours, tourism, migration, settlement patterns. Are people moving from place to place? Why? And then slide 13 is a summary. Notice how on most of these, you have 2 slides going in for each of the categories, but on the last one for summary, on that slide, you're talking about both. So you're going to tell me about how do regions compare, what is the better region, and why. Guys, that which region is better and why, that is coming from like your brain. So when you are looking at that, you need to give me full sentences, full ideas, and don't be lazy. If you are lazy in your answer, I'm going to mark off points, and that portion should be like super easy, okay? Very easy for you to follow. And then finally, in that presentation, the student needs to create a video, and you are going to place it on the title slide, and that itself is going to be 10 points. If you make a title slide, if you make this video and your face is not in it at all, then you just wasted your time because you're not going to get credit. Your face needs to be in the video. So again, when you have these two slides for location, the first location slide is over region 1, the second location slide is over region 2. So we are doing that. Notice how on slide 6, you don't have 2 slides to go with it. You're just talking about what's separating them. So that would apply to both sides, right? And then the summary like we discussed. Down here on page 3, this is going to take the questions that you may have, and it's going to kind of expand on them. So for example, I had students who, you know, even when I was looking at this, it's like, okay, location, what does that mean? What counts as that? So as you are doing location, then you need to jump down here and you need to say, okay, so these are the 3 questions that you need to answer. So for region 1, you need to answer these 3 questions on the slide, and then for location 2, you're still answering the same 3 questions, okay? And for each of them, you must have that picture. So it's not listed down here, but for every single one, make sure you are putting in that picture for everything, okay? So this is very kind of in-depth, and research is what I'm looking for. All of these questions down here, they need to be very, very full and substantial. You may want to consider, like, you know, having this, you should have this one open and then have your Google slide open, and as you're going, it needs to kind of match and follow this. If you have any questions, you need to log into Zoom. You need to ask me in person, okay? There is no way that we could have the conversation of what's required, how does this need to work, unless, you know, we're able to kind of look at each other in the electronic eye and have that conversation. So if you have any questions, you should not email me. You need to log into Zoom, okay? And if you cannot log into Zoom, then there is the chance that, you know, discussion or, you know, my expectations may not be super clear, although I am hoping they are. But if you are emailing me and you tell me that you can't log into Zoom, and, you know, you ask me a question, I answer it to the best of my ability, but when you submit it, you're missing parts, I will take off, okay? So, you know, it's going to be kind of tricky for you. That's why I'm really, really encouraging you to log into Zoom. So here are all of the questions that you should be answering. All of these questions, you need to answer it for both regions. I'm trying to think. One thing that I cannot stress enough, do not plagiarize, okay? You are researching. That does not mean that you could copy and paste and put it into your presentation. Just because you research does not mean that you are allowed to plagiarize. And so what I would probably suggest doing, if you kind of struggle with that, I would look at the information, then I will close out the browser, think about it for a little bit, and then answer it in your own words, okay? If you have the browser open and you are typing as you're looking at that, you know, particular information, then most of the time it's going to end up being plagiarized, just because, like, if it's right in front of you, it's really hard for you to kind of use your own brain to answer it. If you plagiarize anything, okay, if I see any portion of this plagiarized, I am just going to give you a 0 and move on to the next student, okay? So I can't stress this enough. Make sure that you are answering in your own words. Don't copy and paste or anything like that. If you have questions or if you're concerned about anything, log into Zoom. That's what Zoom is for. And for those of you who might need help because you forgot how to log into Zoom, It's right here on this WAG PowerPoint slide, okay? It's right there. So it has the days and the times for when Zoom is, and then you click on it, and that will open up a Zoom link for you to be able to contact me, which is usually every day at 10:30, okay? Again, ask questions, let me know if you need help or if you need me to re-explain something, okay? Hopefully this Zoom recording works. Bye, guys.